paste it, it will take you to a page which looks like this. The page would ask you good morning, participants, TOT trainees. Our presentation today is on accessing e-resources at the University of Rwanda. I'm very pleased to be with you to take you through the simple steps that will help you to access e-resources at the University of Rwanda. I am Dr. Robina Kalemera Namuleme, the University Librarian of the University of Rwanda, and our presentation today will focus on mainly three things. One, we shall look at the online resources, what they are. Two, we shall also look at why we should need them, why we should use them. And then we shall also consider something to do with what can we access at the URL and how can we access the resources remotely. So after that description, I'm sure by the end of this presentation, short presentation, you should be able to guide other students and users on how to access e-resources, especially in the context of COVID-19, where you're going to be studying and learning from home. So with the outline now presented to you, I'll go to the main points which I want to cover this morning. We'll look at what online resources are, and then we get to understand what they are, and then we can know how to use them thereafter. So briefly, an online resource is any information that can be accessed using a computer. So whatever information you can find and access using a computer is an online resource. It can be an electronic version of a print material, or it could be electronic only. In both cases, that becomes an online resource. It could be a video, it could be a print that has been made in soft format. All those are online resources. And we'll look at the scope of online resources to know broadly what can be included in the online resources. So when you're online, you can find electronic journals, especially because you're a student. I'm sure you're familiar with these. You can find electronic books. There are also databases, which are the containers that have all those e-resources, e-books and e-journals. And you could also find reference materials like dictionaries, like encyclopedias, like handbooks online to help you understand what you're trying to understand. So the online resources will meet different needs. For instance, if one is doing research and is exploring a new topic, a new subject, but very specialized research, they could find mainly the information from e-journals and e-books and databases. But if you want a quick definition of a key concept in your discipline, you'd use a handbook. I want you to know that there are handbooks online that you can also access. There are also reference materials like encyclopedias that you can use to find general information. Also, there is online information on official databases like the UN, on official websites, like the UN website, government data department websites, all of which provide essential information which is not necessarily found in ebooks and e-journals, but is essential for learning and research purposes. So when we are talking about e-resources, I want us to broaden our minds from just specific e-journals and ebooks to broader e-resources beyond e-journals and ebooks, and that means that websites and publications on websites. Like if you want information on what is the national curriculum framework of Rwanda, how do I get graded and whatever, you'd go to the HEC website. Such information would not be in a journal or in an ebook, but then you can find that information from our website. Things like how are we performing on the SDGs? You could find that maybe on the UN website. So I'm trying to give to explain that e-journals and e-resources can really help a lot because you have a broad range. The scope is quite wider than just the print books that we can provide in the library. And because of the fact of COVID, we are really focusing mainly on e-resources for today because we think the students that you're going to be supporting will really be interested in knowing how to access library resources and online resources remotely. At this point, I want to explain that in the meantime, the University of Rwanda Library Services will support you mainly with e-journals and e-books and also with guidance on how to access essential data websites, other essential websites that also have information for your research. And I want to explain why we should really consider using e-resources. One of the reasons is the up-to-date information. Of course, sometimes you find information which could be outdated, but as we shall explain later, it is easier to be able to filter the information and focus on the specific years to be able to find more information in terms of currency. Also, convenience, you can access the resources from wherever you are. Like in this demonstration, we are going to be explaining how you can access resources right from your homes. And also the e-resources provide features, like especially if you go to the advanced search, where you can be able to find operators to assist you in making really more in-depth searches apart from just doing a basic search. Also, there is an opportunity to have a wider range of materials, as I've explained previously, than what you could ordinarily have in a print format in one unified space. So the current benefit that I want also to continue to also mention is the fact that they are easy to retrieve, especially if you're given guidance, and they are easy to browse. You can browse and then find that you get what suits you, and when you're just seated in one place without having to move about to say I don't want this and then you return it. So, and it's time saving because you don't have to make any journeys. As long as you have the connection, then you can be able to access and search what you want to, the information that you need, as we shall see in due course. So I want to highlight the fact that the most important benefit of using e-resources is the fact that they enhance research activities, that one can write a paper overnight, which would not be possible if you had to go to the library, find the physical books and do, so the online resources have made the academic life a lot easier by bringing all the resources to you at one place and then you being able to use them for your research. I want to explain briefly here, just for your information, that there are several modes of access to e-resources. The first mode is IP access, which is when you're on the campus. This is the access that we originally had, where we really were limited by IP, and you all know that we were saying all your resources cannot be accessed at campus. So that means at that point, only people who are authenticated are had only to use the resources from within UR. Then there's another kind of access, which is by username and password, which is also another way of access. We have resources that we obtain, and the providers dictate that they must be accessed by username and password. These are normally provided, and even in this demonstration, I'll provide passwords just in case you search and you get in touch with resources that require a password. Then there are open access resources which do not require a password. In such a case, also we know resources like the ones that we find in the open access books and open access e-journals. Those are free and can be accessed for free. Can be accessed without using any authentication. In this demonstration, I'm going to show access with authentication, because the UR has paid for the resources and thinks that the students of the University of Rwanda should be our primary customers, and so we should be able to give them the usernames and passwords for them to be able to access the resources even when they are from home. So it is an IP access, but with username and password, because now you're going to be accessing from home. I wonder whether at this point there is anyone who wants some clarification or has any questions that I can respond to, especially on the mode of access, before I can move to the next point. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I want to now go to the issue of remote access via EZ proxy that has been provided by the University of Rwanda. This is a service the university has paid for to ensure that the students and staff can be able to work from home comfortably without worrying that they will not be able to access the resources, because we know that we are not allowed to use material that is not peer reviewed. So we have come up with this. Yeah, one of the first steps for you to access online resources at the University of Rwanda is to paste this link of proxy in any of the browsers that you'll be working with. And then as you paste it, it will take you to a page which looks like this. The page would have a link which is called Integrated Search System. And on that page, then you'd be requested to present the username and password. So when you click on it, because for me I've already I had already logged in, it has taken me directly. But in your case, when you click on it, you'll have to supply a username and password that will provide to you. Then it will take you under. So what you'd be required to do is to put in the keyword, your keyword that you want to search. And in this case, I'll search for maybe economic growth. Let me try that. So this has been a basic search that I've conducted, and it has given me several results, as you can see. And the results as showed, I want us to take a little bit of time on this page. It says that it has given me articles, several articles in 60,000, then one book and one journal on that subject matter. And it has showed me that in the year 2020, there are 645. In the year 2019, there are 775. So it tells you the different publication times of the materials that you've accessed. And then you are able to look at the results. So these are the results that I've received for this search. And then one of them is to do with political instability and economic growth. Then it says for economic growth and the rise of economic growth and the rise of political. So you look at what really responds to the search terms and what works well for you. And in this case, I'll just select an item randomly that I think can answer my question, and then select full text to be able to see. Yeah, so I've selected full text from my results, and the system is trying to search. And after which I can be able to download the item. So the item has 272 pages that I've been able to download. Then I can be able to continue reading the item. And in case the system asks you for a password, so you can see that I've been able to download this item from desktop. As I said, there are several databases that have been put together. So when you search through through LibHub, it takes you to the one that holds what you can have, and then you can be able to open the article and work with your. So as we said, you can download the PDF and work with it later. Secondly, sometime you can search for items which will require you to have a password, which are especially from Research for Life. Because Research for Life does not allow us to make the passwords public, because each country is given specific usernames and passwords. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to provide you with the contact details for the library staff within your respective campuses, who will be sharing with you the password both for remote access and Research for Life. Because I cannot provide the passwords on streaming, these are going to be given to you through text. I wonder whether the coordinators can do that for me, that they can pass the passwords and username to the participants, but not on stream. Yeah, later on, through this, later on after the presentation, you'll get the passwords and usernames, but you need to know that these, you'll share them with your fellow students, but they are not for public use, because if we misuse them, we shall be disconnected and then the service cannot be enjoyed. So because of that, we need to make sure the passwords and usernames are used by the authorized users, and who are you are students and you are a staff. To continue also, the demo is almost is finished because I've showed you how to download. I want also to talk about the fact that you may need to have further information in case you have a question, or in case you try to download something and it's not working, or you've not been able to access for some reason. There are contact details in this presentation that you will have to contact in each campus. There are also telephone numbers that you can call to be able to get further help and support. So I didn't want to make it too big because this is mainly focusing on accessing resources remotely, but then further trainings will be conducted on more in-depth things like doing advanced searches and basic searches. But for today, we have mainly focused on the resources that are available and how we can access them remotely. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Okay. Dear students, good morning. I want to tell you that we have a quiz for group 3 and group 4. Now you can go and access this quiz. Okay, you can go because I see 4 have already attempted, and you can go and attempt. Then later you will see your marks. I will mark you, then I give you the marks. But for the first assignment, you have already marks. You can go for group 4 and group 3. You can go to your grade and you can see your grade. Then when you have a problem or when you have something to say, you can write and can see your concern. So thank you for this time. So continue enjoying this platform. When you have a problem, feel free to ask a question and we will assist you. Thank you. Have a nice day.